Good morning, everyone. Strifgal playing some more Assault and Sanctuary. We have acquired what I'm hoping is going to be a good weapon. We'll see how that actually pans out. So far, I haven't been super impressed. We got the Adder's Fang after beating the Stench Most Foul. It has very high scaling, so I'm hoping that once we actually max out our decks, it'll surpass some of the things that it's currently not keeping up with. But we'll have to see. Anyway, we're going to head from the west coast here, the Fort Beyond the Mire, over to the other side of the world. The way that this map is laid out, it technically wraps around. Basically, you go from the west coast, you take the boat, and it'll take you all the way to the east coast. The far beach. We're going to go ahead and set our sanctuaries up here. So the big point of this is just so we have a point to work back to later. Because we don't have everything we need yet. I don't think we can get through here yet. If we can, I'm going to be impressed. Yeah, no, that just drops off, and we do not have the ability to survive that fall. So we're going to head back around. There is a... I think there's a little down here, or is this not what I was thinking it is? This is not what I was thinking. Okay. So we're going to head on from the beach, up the hill, this is what I was thinking of. Okay. That's where you can find the flail that we have naturally. Well, the good news is we got our salt back already. I'm really not feeling this weapon. It doesn't feel like it does enough damage for how slow it is. And the point with poison is to get multiple hits in so you can get those early... so you can trigger the poison and get it started, and I feel like we're not getting enough of that with this. There's a chance I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe I want... Oh. Okay, okay. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe I need to be using it one-handed. Sure, whatever. Okay. Okay. That went much better with one hand. I also want... There's a charm that extends reach. I'm really curious to see how that would play out with this as well. Okay, we're just gonna casually climb the pyramid. And once we get to the top, we'll casually head down the pyramid. So we find the entrance. And we're gonna run right past these guys and hope that they don't follow us. And we're gonna run right past this guy and hope he doesn't follow us. And we're gonna claim a sanctuary. So with these two sanctuaries marked, that's gonna let us come back here later. We're gonna head to the Red Hall of Cages Sanctuary next. And from here, we're actually just gonna head straight out. And continue across the desert here. Through this, like, scraggy pit. I assume bones? We will be coming back here later. If you look carefully, right here, there's a platform in the middle there. It looks kind of like a wispy cloud. We can't activate those platforms yet, though. We need to get the next brand for that. Where does this take me? That's the other side of... No, this is different. Okay. This is the ruined temple. We don't want to be here. Yeah. Stop biting me. I'm just gonna see if we can sneak across here, but I'm not super confident about that. Hey, there's some... these are the other guys I was hoping to farm, because this is the last guy we need as far as our creed goes. Okay, with one hand, this thing is actually keeping up much better. Unfortunately, that takes us back to the bottom of the ziggurat, which is not where we're trying to go. Whoops. Oh, this is that controller. Some of you may recall that I've had several different controller problems recently, and apparently this is the other one that I was having problems with. I really just probably need to end up getting a new controller, which I did, and then it fell off my desk while it was plugged in and messed up the power charging port. Unless there's an easy fix for that, probably just gonna need to get a new controller. Or figure out how to sync a PS5 controller, which is probably fine. I'm sure they have Bluetooth too. Okay, and that takes us to the Dome of the Forgotten. I think this is our first instance of a mimic in this game. Everybody's favorite treasure chest monsters. By the way, if you haven't figured out what's wrong with this controller, it's that the down button keeps sticking on the D-pad, which, as you can see, is the command to light a torch. And also occasionally just keeps screwing up my menuing. Okay, for this area, we want a guide, a leader, blacksmith, and a sellsword. And we're actually gonna be going to be farming. We'll see if we need to actually do a lot, but we need to get an item drop from those guys. And unfortunately, it's kind of important for one of the bosses. We can probably make do for a short, or until we do the first boss, though. So I think I'll just do one more here, and then we'll actually make some progress. There's two bosses in this area. No drop. Okay, we've got our undersight on. File of undersight lets you see these guys, who are invisible unless you use files of undersight. Apparently, these guys don't care about poison, so I think we're going to be doing a swap back over to our martial flail just for the time being. There's a reason we have both, and it's because there are enemies, there's a lot of enemies that don't care about poison, and being able to wail on them with the flail is much better than trying to just force the poison. This is heavy armor that we can't use. Yeah. One of the biggest heavy armor sets, the Scorpion set, it's the level 4 heavy armor. Did not mean to fall there. Red shard. Not what we're looking for, but that's okay. So those red carpets with candles around them. Yeah, like that one right down there. Tend to be where these whispermen are. Which is why I attacked where I did. The whip is also just very good against the whispermen because it has a backswing to it. One of the downsides normally is that if you're attacking in front of you, you can't tell which side they're on. With this, we get a full arc. We can tell whether they're behind us or in front of us. We're going to go ahead and Bronze Axe, Knight's Ashes. Okay, this guy is weak to... It's another guy who's weak to fire. I think I'm actually gonna try and poison him, though. Yeah. Let's get poison arrows up. This is a good poison arrow boss. The Untouched Inquisitor. So the big thing with this guy is that all of his attacks are technically ranged. He does have a pretty solid poison resist, but you can get enough stacks going that it doesn't matter. And we basically just end up having to sit there. First boss down. That lowers these ladders in his arena, which is important. It opens... Alright, gives us our first Lord's Orders, which is important. And it's going to let us head up here. Uh-oh. Now, a smart person would probably stop messing around and just use a vial of undersight. And possibly stop trying to poison, or hit them with the weapon that does mostly poison damage. Okay. So that gives us this path now, which takes us back to the entry, which is part of the reason I was hoping we were going to be able to get that Hornet Steel, which is what these guys are called. We actually are going to need 2 Hornet Steel Ashes total. And I think this is going to be where we live for a little bit, because I would really like to get the Hornet Steel Ashes before we progress to the next area. Or specifically before we fight the next boss. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut here, and when I come back, I will have some Hornet Steel Ashes, and we'll go fight the other boss. Okay, that did not take long at all. It was literally like 2 later. So, we're going to go ahead and transmute one of our shields. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, we have to use a round shield? Okay. Sure, whatever. Into the mirror shield. This is basically the same as the Phoenix Run Dash that we've been using, except it has lightning resist. Instead of, I think, okay. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do a quick upgrade on that. This guy is not fun for us with the build we're using. He's weak to Slash, Fire, and Arcane, which is the stuff we are worst at doing right now. The Vilehawk Bow is going to be probably our best source of damage. He's very strong against poison. So I think we're probably going to be using Vilehawk Bow and Fire Arrows for the most part. Do we have the Tachi? I mentioned it earlier. We do. This might be a good time to just bust out the Tachi with the Imp and Charm. Because this spot, the third lamb is very obnoxious for us from that perspective. I'll try not to make it a habit. The Tachi's good. The only reason I'm not using it this time is because it was my primary weapon last time. Honestly, the last time I did a Dex poison build, it ended up being my weapon that I had to use on New Game Plus because I couldn't do enough damage otherwise. That is actually a Lord's Orders we can use. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna keep Martial Flail on until we get up to the boss. We'll head back to the Dome of the Forgotten. Mirror Shield. Fire arrows. Golden stone ring. And I don't remember if there's any armor that's particularly good against lightning. I don't think there is, though. So, yeah, I think what we've got on looks like the most powerful. We're going to leave the whip on because it's good against the Whispermen. There's another Hornet Steel's Ashes, of course. I don't remember what I was going to use the other one for. Had in my head that there was another item that used it. Maybe it was one of the bows that I decided I didn't want to use. Yeah, that's fair. And that I did not spend my salt before I did that, which was dumb. So if we die now, that's 40,000 salt. Remember earlier when I said, yeah, later on, losing that 1,000 salt isn't going to be a big deal? Some guides are important, so I'm always okay with getting more. Enable the elevator. This is going to be the primary path now to get up to the boss. And we will go ahead at this point. I think we're good to switch over. We're going to go to the Tachi, Imp and Charm, Flame Arrows, Golden Stone Ring, Boatman's Gear, Blacksmith probably doesn't need to be there. What do we do? Hunter's Gloves? Looks like the strongest. And the third lamb. We're going to go ahead and clear out our miscellaneous items, just so we've got a clear path to switch to our stuff we want to use. I am going to equip a antidote as well. Hopefully we don't need it. I'm mostly gonna, for this first run, I'm gonna mostly just be focusing on potions and trying to just stick with using the bow and arrow and the Tachi. hate that attack. Third Lamb has a few attacks that I'm not great at dodging. Okay, we're down to a second phase already. Yeah, when he gets down to this part, he starts chaining attacks, and that's where it actually starts getting tricky. The nice thing with the Tachi is you can be very aggressive with it in a way that you can't be with most of our other weapons. And it does a lot of damage. Again, he's weakest to slashing. And our best way to not do poison damage and do slashing is this. Okay. So he is going to give us the Hard Light brand. This is super important for a couple reasons. I mean, the main thing is just this gives us the ability to walk on these platforms. Okay, I think there's enemies over here, and I'm trying to remember. For some reason I had in my head that one of these items would let you see as if you had the sight up. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it's a different one. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple things quick. The first one I'm going to do is head back to... yeah, let's do Castle of Storms. There's a couple items here. I really wish that Tachi wasn't so good. Okay, we're gonna head up back up here. If you recall, there was an item that I was mentioning above the boss arena that we couldn't get last time, and it is the Assassin Gear. Which is especially important for us because I would really like to get these Assassin Gauntlets. They give us a +3 to Dexterity. And I think we're probably just going to go all in on this. Unless I see a reason not to. I may end up switching out the hood because it's just so stereotypical. But yeah, we've got our ninja gear now. And it gives a bonus to dexterity, which is really nice. Okay, so that's one. The second thing that we need to do we have all these bells. I may as well start using them more efficiently. The second thing I need to do now that we've got that hard light rune is actually head back to the Fort Beyond the Mire, because I would like to do a little bit more grinding here. Actually, can we do our transmuting now? I should double check that before I do that, because it does cost 30,000 for the bow transmute, and if we can, I'd like to get that taken care of. This is already up to 6. This is up to 4 currently. Leopard bow, rotten raider, diamond cluster. Do not have the diamond cluster yet. So this is what we're going to be looking at getting, is the recurve bow. Is that better? That feels like it might be just as good. Oh, well, whatever. Scaling in this game is weird sometimes. It makes way more sense than it used to, as far as just feeling like you're doing well, but yeah. So, the enemies down in the basement over here are the cave keepers. We have 2 different spots I can farm them. I would like to get this one this last thing taken care of. I think the other one we may be able to also farm some other upgrade materials. We'll see if I end up able to do that or not. Yeah. Next time, we will be heading back to the Ziggurat of Dust, the pyramid that we wandered into earlier. I don't really know that I need lots of endurance. We've already got all the armor we need. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in willpower and dexterity, pretty much. Maybe get another potion. So yeah, I feel like we're doing really, like, we're pushing along pretty well. We got another, good run in here today. Another 2 bosses down. Got some exploration done. We got our armor set that we're going to be using. And I feel like we're going to be able to do the same next time. Make some progress. Hopefully we should be able to cruise through the first half of the ziggurat at least. The second half is actually going to be a little easier for us, but the first half has the first half is the easier to navigate. The second has the easier boss for us, because the first boss is once again weak to, or well, no, he has strike at least, so we can use our whip, strike and holy. Anyway, hope you've been enjoying. If you have, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.